Hi, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Guy.
And this is our AEW's Explosive Elite Review. AEW 11th of the 3rd, 2020. Start off with Ortiz coming out with Santana versus Cody Rhodes with Brandy and Arn Anderson. Partway through this match, we had Jake the Snake Roberts come through the crowd and sit down with what has been called his client. We suspect it is his client. They said it on the commentary. He did say about client, so it's a bit obvious that it probably is his client. Until he says anything, you've got to take it until he confirms it. It is what it is. And it was, who was it?
Lance Archer.
Yes, Lance Archer. He didn't debut last week. We did say that. Why wasn't he there? Obviously, we now know he was then kept into this part of the storyline for being Jake the Snake's client. Cody got the win by submission on the figure 4, only for then the Santana then to attack Cody, and then the Elite basically all descended to the ring because Blood and Guts in a couple of weeks. They've got a 5-on-5. They did say, we'll say about it now, Blood and Guts is basically 2 rings and a cage around the ring with a roof, and it's basically war games. That's basically the gist of it. At the minute, with what's going on in the world, we don't know what's going to happen with that match or that show. It might have been. I've read that it's being moved from where it was. And I've heard that next week's show is also moved as well from what it is, but they're still trying to get these shows sort of out there and in front of an audience as it stands at the minute. Then we got a backstage little video on the Titantron. It was Jericho, Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara basically saying about we are putting All Elite Wrestling on notice and we're doing it here. He then said about Matt Jackson, didn't he? He said, where's your brother? His brother was under a shutter, basically, with a bit of blood coming from his head because the shutter was on his head. So they'd obviously taken out one of the Young Bucks. Next, we had a tag team women's match, Statlander and Shida versus Brie Priestley and Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose got the win. Not much to say about that. Then we had a Christopher Daniels sort of parody of the it was a parody of the Dark Order, saying that he wants to face Stu Grayson and Evil Uno in one-on-ones, and the Exalted One.
They kept saying, screw the Dark Order.
Yeah, obviously, and they're saying about the Exalted One. They also said the Exalted One is going to be here next week, so we will hopefully that's not a swerve, and we're going to find out because I think they're taking it a little bit too long now. But like I say, we'll have to see. Next, we had a 6-man tag. It was the Butcher and the Blade with the Bunny versus an MJF Wardlow. They were the 3 competitors, that team, versus the Jurassic Express. This was a quite cool match, but in the end, it was MJF who won with a submission. Then we had Britt Baker having another interview with Tony Schiavone. I put weak. I thought this one was a weak interview. It wasn't that great, to be honest. She's been doing really well. This one was a step back, only for them Big Swole to come out and sort of face up to her. Britt Baker said about your boyfriend, who actually she's married, and she did say that to Cedric Alexander from 205, or was on 205 from WWE. She did then make a little bit of a dig about, or actually, because Britt Baker said your boyfriend, she then retorted with, actually, I'm married, Bay. So I think that's a little bit of a sort of a dig at Adam Cole, because obviously, as we know, Britt Baker and Adam Cole they're going out with each other. So I think that's obviously a little bit of a sort of nod to that. Next, we had Joey Janela and the Private Party versus the Death Triangle. First match for the Death Triangle. It was them who got the win. Not much to really say about that. Only that they did this sort of at the end. They did a sort of they laid them all in the ring. Joey Janela and the Private Party, and they sort of crossed their arms over each other's sort of neck area, and they sort of pulled, and they called it a Death Triangle, that kind of move. Then the Best Friends come down, Orange Cassidy, and that was kind of how they sort of left that bit. They sort of run them off. And then we had the Blood and Guts rules, which we've already said about that. And then we get to the main event. Jericho and Sammy Guevara again as a tag team versus Adam Page, who was going to have a mystery opponent, but that was announced during the night. It would be Dustin. So yeah, let's say just a typical tag team match. Not much to this. The ending was quite nice because it was a Canadian destroyer to Sammy Guevara. He then kept on his feet only to receive a buckshot clothesline from Adam Page, and that was kind of how they got the win. Then the Incircle proceeded then to attack Dustin and Adam Page, only for then Kenny Omega, who's supporting a cast because he's injured at the minute. So we know he's injured. We don't know if that's a storyline or he is actually legitimately injured. He came down, he got then taken out, only for then Cody to come down to do the save. He got then taken out. They dragged Adam Page up to the ramp. They looked like they were going to powerbomb him, a bit like John Moxley, only for then there's Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson, I think, came out, didn't he? Yep, Matt Jackson came out to sort of break it up. And then Jericho got a chair and did 2 chair shots, one to Adam Page and one to Matt Jackson, and that was kind of it. The Inner Circle stood tall. So yeah, with the state of the world going on, we don't really know what the future is for AEW shows. They will still obviously try to keep the momentum going. It's a bit difficult with the situation in the world. WWE, which we're going to film the Blue SmackDown review after this, we'll go into a bit more detail about that. They're struggling as well, but obviously we'll keep doing these videos and keep up to date with the wrestling, as it were, as long as like we can, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen. But like I say, we'll just keep updated on Twitter and Facebook. So links are in the description. So hit us up on there to keep up to date if you want to keep in the know with our videos. And I think I'll say, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. So I'll say goodbye and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.